The first thing I ask every storyteller, personal storyteller or business, is who is the audience? And about half the time, they don't know, which is crazy. You have to know who you're talking to. You have to know what your audience is going to be before you figure out what to say. One Super Bowl commercial nailed this perfectly, and another one failed miserably. Let's take a look at each one. The opening shot is of a flag in the mountains and a landscape.
Longest thing we ever do is live our lives. But life doesn't come with an owner's manual.
Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is an actor that every single human being likes. He is perfectly universal and perfect for this commercial. And notice how, as the commercial opens, you don't quite know who it is. They open with a side view, which creates suspense. Who is it? And then you hear the voice first, and you think, I know that voice.
But life doesn't come with an
And then he
owner's
turns
manual.
and you see who it is and you feel like you're at home. It's Harrison Ford. Everything he says, I will believe.
Might have been nice, huh? But that means we get to write our own stories. Freedom is yes, or no, or maybe.
That's all of the commercial right there. We're going to be speaking to two different audiences. Essentially, this is a commercial for two kinds of people. It is for Jeep owners that want to put gasoline in their machines and drive into the mountains and tear up the ground and have a great time. And it's also for Jeep owners who want to buy an electric vehicle and quietly drive down the street to the store. That is literally what this commercial is speaking to. It's speaking to both audiences simultaneously. And they're using Harrison Ford to say, basically, both are fine, we're all good.
Freedom is for everybody, but it isn't free. It's earned.
So we flash to some World War II footage because everyone agrees that World War II vets are to be admired and respected at all costs.
There are real heroes.
Note here that a dog appears, the only other character in the story. We put a dog into the story because along with the flag and World War II vets, dogs are something we agree upon almost more than we agree upon that Harrison Ford is extraordinary. We throw the dog in because everyone loves a dog.
But not the ones in the movies. Real heroes are humble. They're not driven by pride.
Harrison Ford says that real heroes are not in the movies. He's basically saying, I'm not a hero, which makes us think he's a hero. And Harrison Ford is making a simple statement that we all agree to. Real heroes are not driven by pride. They are humble, and we get a flash of another veteran coming home and hugging his daughter.
Freedom is the roar of one man's
And now we get two Jeeps. We get the one without doors that you drive in the mountains with gas.
Freedom is the ability to inspire.
And we get Harrison Ford driving an electric vehicle right next to it. The two of them are equal. The two of them are fine. Everyone is good.
You don't have to be friends with someone to wave at them.
You don't have to be friends with someone to wave at them. And at that moment, the electric vehicle and the gas vehicle, they pass each other. And Harrison Ford is basically saying, it's okay. If we disagree, we can still wave at each other.
We won't always agree on which way to go. But our differences can be our strength.
Our differences can be our strength. I can buy an electric vehicle. You can buy a gas-powered vehicle, and that's going to be our strength. And the way those two Jeeps pass each other and the trails form a V with one going in one direction, one going the other direction, but they're all driving, they're all in a Jeep. They're thinking entirely about the audience and speaking to two different groups of people simultaneously and highly effectively.
So choose, but choose wisely. Choose what makes you happy.
We get the picture of an electric vehicle being unplugged, which is great for Jeep. Simple to use, plug it in, plug it out. We get an image of a Jeep.
My friends, my family, my work make me happy.
My friends, my family, my work make me happy first, and then
This Jeep makes me happy,
Jeep is smart. It's the fourth thing. It's not the first thing.
even though my name is
Even though my name is Ford, which is a joke, and then the only other character in the commercial speaks a tiny bit, which is the dog makes a little whine as if to indicate the joke wasn't funny.
That's my owner's manual. Get out there, write your own.
And at the end of the commercial, we're right back where we began. At the beginning of the commercial, Harrison Ford is at a fireplace saying, wouldn't it be nice if life had an owner's manual? And at the end of the commercial, he says, that's my owner's manual. Get out there, write your own. In other words, buy a Jeep. This is a commercial that understands audience and knows exactly who they are speaking to. Now I'm going to talk about a commercial that fails when it comes to audience. And oddly enough, I am the audience for this commercial. I grew up 30 minutes south of Boston. I am a Patriots season ticket holder. I watched the Celtics win the championship in the Fleet Center last year. I am Boston through and through. So I am the audience for this commercial. And the problem is, I am the audience for this commercial. It's a Super Bowl commercial, and it's targeting essentially me and not the country. The first problem with it, before I even hit start, is the fact that it's a sequel. It's a sequel to a commercial from last year, which suffers from the curse of knowledge because we have now had 365 days to forget about the commercial we saw last year, and now we're picking up where it left off. This makes no sense whatsoever. There should not be a sequel in the Super Bowl commercial unless that commercial ran ubiquitously all year long. So the sequel is a terrible idea already. You're gonna lose half the people who don't know what the hell is going on. But let's take a look at the commercial now.
Welcome to Java Jam, Battle of the Coffee Brand Bands.
So we've got a whole bunch of people who just flashed across the screen. And I'm wondering, who are those people and am I supposed to know them? But one of the biggest problems with this commercial is there's a whole bunch of people in it. Some of them I recognize, like Ben Affleck, and I kind of recognize Casey Affleck, but I don't really because he's got giant glasses on. So the whole time I'm looking at it and going, is that Casey Affleck in that hat and those orange glasses? Probably because he's sitting next to Ben. And I know looking at this now that Bill Belichick is standing behind him, and I know who Bill Belichick is because you know, I sat in that stadium for the last 22 years and I honor Bill Belichick and I know who he is. Boy, I hope other people know who he is. This is the first problem with the commercial. The audience is everywhere, meaning they're throwing out tons of references, pop culture, and instead of hoping to sort of hit somebody with one of the references, they're confusing me. I'm wondering who all these people are. They're thinking, well, he got Belichick, isn't he good? He got Affleck, isn't he good? No, he's not, because he's confused about all these other people.
Forget them suckers. Matt Damon and Tom Brady don't have the heart of a champion. We got a new squad, DunKings sequel. Affleck's and Belichick. DunKings!
DunKings sequel. So if you don't remember the commercial from last year, we have a sequel, and this is the moment where you go, what do you mean DunKings sequel?
A little more spirit on the, on the charge next time. All right. We got a fourth Dunkin too coming.
We have a fourth Dunkin coming. I identified who this person is by actually putting their name on the door that is about to open. It's Jeremy Strong. If you have to put someone's name essentially on them, you are already worried that people don't know who the hell this guy is, right? It's Jeremy Strong. Do you know who Jeremy Strong is? You might know who Jeremy Strong is if you watch Succession. Or maybe one of his films, but probably Succession. But it turns out that Succession was only on HBO Max. So if you didn't own HBO Max, you don't know who the hell this guy is. And I didn't even know he was related to Boston. And I am a Boston guy. This guy does not have a Boston accent. He has nothing about him that says Boston to me, but he's gonna be in this commercial now. And so Jeremy Strong emerges from a vat of coffee beans, which means if I don't know who Jeremy Strong is based upon his name, I'm never gonna see his face and understand who he is. If I could see his face, I'd go, oh, it's that actor. It's that guy in Succession or that guy in a movie I saw. But he's covered in coffee beans. So if I'm trying to figure out how I know Jeremy Strong because I'm an ordinary American that doesn't watch everything on television and I don't see every movie, I have no idea who this guy is.
Oh my God.
Hey man,
I'm looking at him now. He's indiscernible. You've actually managed to get Jeremy Strong in your commercial and make him indiscernible. This is not understanding your audience. If you open your commercial, a 1-minute commercial with me wondering if it's Casey Affleck, that's what my mind is occupied by, right? We're distracting the audience by throwing so many references at them that they're trying to keep up. It is cognitively disturbing. And now we have a guy who we might know if we could actually see his face and a vat of coffee beans, but we don't know who the hell he is.
What are you doing in there?
I'm just trying to find the character. I'm all in for Dunkin.
Now, the one thing I do like that they do is the opponents are wearing a green uniform. They can't put Starbucks on their commercial or they get sued to high heaven, right? But they have done a good job of making it clear that it is Dunkin's versus Starbucks. And living in a town where the Starbucks and the Dunkin are literally across the street from each other, this they have done at least slightly well. But I'll tell you, as this scene progresses,
Roasted!
Like a dark seasonal roast with coriander and slight balsamic drizzle.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
that was the funniest line in the whole thing.
See you, coach. How much to wait a half hour to get my name spelled wrong on the cup?
Nobody wants a goat milk double half calf soy milk cap. You could just brew it. It's beans and water.
Oh, damn. Listen, Dunkin's for all of yous.
That's it. Dunkin is for all of you. That is the whole point of the commercial, right? It took them forever to get to the idea that Dunkin is for all of you. And the only way they made that point was essentially Casey Affleck said, nobody wants your coffee. It's just beans and water. Essentially, the whole commercial comes down to the idea that coffee is nothing but beans and water. Therefore, you should go to Dunkin' Donuts. That is it. They undermine the idea of what coffee is, beans and water, nothing more. And therefore, because of that, Dunkin' Donuts is the best because we have Bill Belichick and Casey Affleck and Ben Affleck and some people I still can't figure out who the hell they are. That's not a great message. When your company's message about the product you make is, it's kind of nothing, it's just beans and water, that doesn't make me think, well, hell, I gotta go get the Dunkin' Donuts beans and water. They throw a whole bunch of things on the screen and they hope that something resonates with you. Jeep presents a clear, clean, obvious message from a single spokesperson who everyone knows and who everyone trusts. This commercial, this Dunkin' Donuts commercial, it is a mistake. It fails to take account for audience. That is the difference between these two commercials, and that is what we must do as storytellers first and foremost. Before you open your mouth or put your pen to the page or your fingers to the keys, the first thing you ask yourself is, who is your audience? And then you craft a message that that audience will listen to, believe, and understand. Jeep did it brilliantly. Dunkin' Donuts failed.